Robert Neher Lewis, born 1838, died 1915, and Helen Shook Lewis, born 1835, died 1901, buried at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, Red Hook. The blue hue of the Lewis monument draws one's eye, as does the lettering of the last name Lewis, shaped like wooden twigs. The three sides of the memorial depict various scenes. And an interesting feature? While Helen Shook Lewis's years of birth and death are listed, her husband Robert's death is not acknowledged, even though his birth year is. Perhaps when the metal monument was ordered from the Monumental Bronze Company of Bridgeport, Connecticut, no thought was given that the year of Robert's death could not be recorded. The monument would have to be disassembled, the whole nameplate recast, and the monument reassembled, an expensive prospect. Maybe it's just as well there is a blank space and no notation of his death. Given that a metal marker does not erode the way marble does, Robert Lewis lives on, just as the Lewis Monument does. Robert Neher Lewis was the son of Jacob P. Lewis and Catherine Neher of Red Hook. He married Helen Shook. Robert and Helen were listed in the 1860 census as living in Red Hook, where Helen was 20 and Robert 22 and working as a laborer. They lived in Red Hook, neighbors of Thomas Palmier and Aaron Shook, until the 1860s, when they moved to Shodak in Rensselaer County, New York, for a few decades. Robert worked there as a gardener and florist. When they returned to Red Hook sometime after 1880, Robert took up farming. He was a member of the Griffin Fire Company and the Agricultural Club. He often showed vegetables he'd grown at various fairs, and took first place a few times in the 1890s. In 1897, the Agricultural Club held a meeting at Robert and Helen's home with the topic, "To what extent should beet farmer become a student, and what should he study?" noted the Red Hook Journal of May 21, 1897. Perhaps Robert had a secret weapon beyond scholarship for his gardening success: prayers. He was appointed as a vice president of the Red Hook Sunday School Association in 1904. Lydia E. Shook, Helen's sister born in January 1857, was a lacemaker, single, and lived with Helen and Robert as of 1900, perhaps to help out her older sister. Helen Shook Lewis died at home in Red Hook on April 28, 1901, after a protracted illness, at age 65. Robert died at Vassar Hospital on September 15, 1915, at 78 years of age. They did not have any children. Their monument is special because it is made of zinc. Only one company made all of the metal grave markers such as this one in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. One would order through a catalog, customizing the motifs as well as the text that would be bolted to the monument. It can be assumed that if someone had survived them to take care of it, perhaps that person could have added Robert's death date to the memorial. Compounding the challenges already mentioned, in 1915 the company was commandeered by the government for use in World War I to make gun mounts and munitions. For whatever reason, the date is not present, but the monument is and will be for a long while to come.